All right, I'm not going to fuck around. I'm just going to get straight into talking about Alien Earth. I'm not going to edit this too much, but the final episode came out yesterday, and I have thoughts. I did a review on the first two episodes of the season, which I thought actually were really good. I thought the alien action looked really cool. The design, the suit design, the that whole thing, it didn't look great, and it didn't look great before the show came out. But in the first two episodes, I feel like they hit it well enough that it didn't really bother me. And we're getting quick cuts of like action scenes, the alien tearing people to shreds, and it was cool. And it was cool and it was exciting. And I was like, okay, alien on TV. This could work. And then we got to episode three, which was fine. It was a fine episode. They wrapped up the kind of stuff with the alien at the big building and the ship crash and all of that. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, is this show just going to be like people on an island and there might be like one alien? And then that kind of was the entire show. Alien Earth is a series that I think before it came out and we heard about the idea of the hybrids, the whole human brain uploaded into a synth body. I think when we heard about that, we thought, oh, this show is going to like say something. It's going to ask questions about like humanity, about reality and what is real, what is really human and what's not. And I think this show says nothing. I think it is a fairly generic sci-fi show with really average characters, some cool action scenes, some cool sequences, some pretty decent cinematography, some okay atmosphere. But for the most part, Alien Earth is kind of a show where I just felt nothing. The first four episodes functioning as like this introduction to the story, to the universe, to the whole thing with Prodigy and the island and stuff. Okay, it was cool. Like I like first two episodes, like I said, really enjoyed. The next two, they were okay, sort of just building on what we had seen, getting to know the synth characters, the aftermath of the alien, and everything starting to go wrong on Prodigy. And I was like, okay, we're halfway through the season, and it feels like stuff has happened, but like we've really got to kick it into gear to like tell a story. And then we get the fifth episode, and the fifth episode is probably the best episode of the series because it is just a TV adaptation of like the script for the first Alien. And that's fine, but it's also the most wholly unoriginal part of the show. And while it's good, it also pushes the show the least and probably says the least in a show that's not really that complex or that deep to begin with. Episode 5 was also the episode where they showed the xenomorph like stand up in a full body shot and it's craning its head like this and it's doing these weird little finger moves. And I remember my reaction to when it stood up behind the captain of the ship and it was that full body shot and I genuinely, this was my actual thought. I went, oh, is this like a parody cutaway like on Disney Plus? Like I genuinely didn't believe it was real because I thought it looked so bad. I've said this a lot for the last month to a lot of people who have had the misfortune to hear me rant about this show. But it feels nitpicky to complain that the alien in this show looks like shit. But then you remember that the show is called Alien Earth, and I feel like it should look good. And it doesn't. It's the only time in the entire franchise where I have looked at the alien and gone, oh, that's a guy in a suit. I've never ever done it actually never like I've never considered it before. It was never something that popped up in my mind. I wasn't ever watching like Alien Resurrection, a really bad movie, and going like, oh, that doesn't even look real. Like I just always in my mind was like, yeah, it's the alien. There's the actors and then there's the alien. It's like I don't know what this show was trying to be. It's not really like a bigger commentary on like synthetics and humans in this corporate owned fucking universe. It's not a good alien show. It's not a good expose on all the other like alien life that they have going on. It's not necessarily fun and action filled and like, whoa, this is crazy. It's not even necessarily a well-written drama. Like everything that Alien Earth does, it does fine. About halfway through the season, I rewatched Alien Romulus, a movie that when it came out, I was extremely and extraordinarily excited for, but I had issues with it. But I came away really, really, really liking it. And I think watching it in comparison to Alien Earth as Alien Earth was happening, I was like, oh shit, Romulus has like mood and atmosphere and like genuinely characters that I think are pretty good. Watching Romulus and watching this thing that was picking from all the other things in the Alien franchise that I love and then presenting it as this kind of fan servicey package. Watching it this time had the same flaws, but I felt that like, okay, this gives a shit. This is paying attention to Alien. And Alien Earth, I just don't feel like is an alien thing. Initially, when I was going to make this video, I was going to go like episode by episode. I'll go episode one, here are my thoughts, and then all the way up to the last episode. But watching the finale last night, I really feel like this season blends into kind of that MCU TV show problem where it feels like an extended movie that has been cut into multiple parts. And I don't know, man, it like left me with like a really bitter taste in my mouth. Like it's a fine show. It's okay. It's average. Oh, it's like right down the middle for me. As for the characters, I think the standouts were Kirsch and Morrow. Boy Cavalier, I guess the performance is great, though I only ever really connected with him as a villain or even as a character, probably in like the second last episode. As for everyone else, I think they're not very good. And like Wendy, I don't really get where they're going with it. It actually feels like they're doing a Dune thing. Like she's supposed to be Paul, where they all put their faith in her to like lead the revolution, and then she turns out to be, you know, a nutcase as well. I just all of the synth stuff felt like it could have been something and could have asked questions and could have gotten existential and deep and interesting. And it was just fucking boring. I think it ended up being genuinely my least favorite part of the show. And that's not to say that the actors aren't doing a good job, because they are doing such a good job. I mean, especially, I think everyone, Wendy's fine. She's doing okay. I think everyone else is doing an incredible job of acting like a kid, but in what is, you know, an adult's body. The mannerisms and everything, I think, is really good. Um, but apart from that, I don't really have much positive to say about like the kids or their plots or anything like that. It felt like half baked at best. And then like all the other island characters, I mean, there's like Essie Davis's character. I think she's bad in this show. I feel bad saying that, but I really think it's not a good performance and the character is fucking nothing. And then there's her husband, I guess he's there, whatever. And then there's like the butler dude who is a synth as well. Spoilers. He's pretty good. I don't know. There's not much to say. There's the dude from Andor. He's good in things. He gets nothing to do here. He gets absolutely nothing to do, but he's fine. I guess he's fine. I hate doing this, but like to double back on the alien design thing, in the first few episodes where it was like, you know, the full kind of matte black alien design. Okay, I had the issues there. We get into the second half of the season, we get this different alien with this different Xeno that was born from the lung. So it's kind of scarred up and it looks different. And when we first saw it, it was CGI for most of it. And then there was one shot where it was a puppet and it was like side on and it looked really good. And I went, holy shit, they've learnt their lesson about how to shoot the alien, how the alien moves. Even the costume looked a little bit different. It looked a bit more fucked up and a bit more organic. And I was like, okay, this is good. And then, like, almost as a fuck you to me believing that that had improved or gotten better, the very next episode, it's just like a dude in a suit in a brightly lit jungle doing these ones again. I just like I don't want to just complain about the alien looking like shit, but like there's not much else to talk about. And this season ends with like what is essentially setting up a season two. The synths are now ruling the island, and Yutani is coming to take the aliens and whatever. And I have never felt more apathetic towards a second season of something. Like if they cancel this show now and we never finish this story, whatever. I will just assume that Yutani pulled up and nuked the site from orbit because it was the only way to be sure. That's an aliens reference. I don't know. I like to think I give things the benefit of the doubt. Rarely does something come out and I just trash it completely. And I don't think I'm doing that with Alien Earth here. But I do feel this incredibly empty feeling of like, why was this made? I don't know, man. I just feel like, I don't know. Sucks. For a show that I really expected to be smarter than it was, like so much of it is so unbelievably contrived. Like things just happen, and we're led to believe that that makes total sense. Like the chest burster gets loose on the island and they find it. A chest burster on an entire island and they find it. I don't know, just everything in this show feels like so convenient and like plot contrived. Like we have to just this thing has to happen so that anything can happen after. And there's no it's not even like cause and effect. Like they're not writing in a way that logically leads one point to another point. It's like, okay, we've got this point, we've got this point here, and anything that happens in the middle doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter if it makes sense as long as we get to this point. One thing I've seen people like criticize the show for a lot is like it ending with like a rock song at the end of every episode. But I have personally loved that. Like, I was very disappointed in the last episode, felt like nothing happened, and then Pearl Jam's Animal started playing, and I watched the entire credits. Standouts for this show, Morrow, Kirsch. Some of the CGI alien shots look really cool. Teocellus, the little eyeball thing, awesome. Loved it. Everything else, I just feel nothing. I don't feel hate or anger. I just feel like a solid level of complete and total apathy for a show that I was really excited for. And not often do I say this so heavy-handedly and so sincerely and so seriously, but I am like really genuinely disappointed. If I had to give the show a rating, I don't know, man. Like 5 out of 10 feels harsh. 6 out of 10 feels like right, but also kind of generous. Like I'm giving it more credit than maybe it deserves, considering the list of things I don't like versus the list of things I do. Somewhere in there, 5.5 to 6. It's fine. Like it's competently made as a piece of media, but again, it feels like a Marvel Disney show where it's just 6 to 9 episodes of like that meant nothing. That felt like nothing. Just like once Andor came out, it just ruined everything. Like Andor came out and then we're fucked. We're fucked. That's really it. We're fucked because of Andor. So thanks, Andor. You fucked us.